everybody? It should be OY Between the Game Sports. Back, give you another great video on topic, man. I appreciate the early birds, man. Let's get to it. I felt like this was a issue or a story to kind of talk about, man. I only try to talk about stories that have some meaning to it, man. If you have not heard, the Southern Heritage Classic that's going down this weekend between Jackson State and Tennessee State University, this might just be the last one, man. And Coach Prom has came out and said, like, why are we still playing this? It doesn't benefit us. And there are some folks who have some of the same sentiments that he has, and then there are some who just don't agree with it at all. We all know in the hbcu culture, there is a lot of tradition, man. It's hard to give up that tradition, hard to give up the past. So these type of games right here mean a lot, not only to the school, but just to the fan base, man, the fan base in general. So I know there's a lot of folks out there is like, why is this happening? And it's basically because Jackson State feels, my thoughts, I feel like Jackson State feels like this is costing them some certain things moving forward, man. They're getting bigger and bigger. If y'all didn't see it last weekend that they played FAMU, ESPN2. I mean, you had thousands and thousands of people watching that game. It was unbelievable. I mean, Jackson State ended up running away with the game. So that was, that was another story. But then you go on to the next weekend, getting ready to face Tennessee State, and the story is coming out again. And I think this happened like in March or April, where they were talking about basically saying, Coach Prom said he wasn't going to do this anymore. And it's going to be sad because this game has been played for nearly 30 years. Jackson State and Tennessee State has done this multiple times. I think Tennessee State leads the all-time series like 17-11 or something like that. So with this, likely being this last weekend, it's going to mean a lot. It's going to be bragging rights for both sides for years and years to come. So I wanted to just kind of get in on this. I wanted to hear you guys' thoughts. Make sure y'all dropping your thoughts down in the comments. Are y'all happy with this? Are y'all happy with Jackson State basically saying, this is enough? And I think I remember that it was like in April that, Jackson State basically said that they were out, man. And Coach Prom said, let me see if I can find the quote real quick. He basically said, like, they're there to play football. He says, I don't know how this could be awkward when you can come to play football. The purpose is to play football, and that's what we come to play. So, again, all-time series is 17-11. Jackson State has won the last two meetings, and then last year they won 38-16, kind of pulled away towards the end. So that was this is a big deal, man, because I know a lot of families probably plan their traveling football season around this game in the HBCU culture, man. There's a big week. A lot of events go on with this event. It's packed out. I think last year was like 46,000 or something of that nature. Not the all-time record in attendance. Shout out to my wise guys in the building, man. Jackson's about to dust these boys, man. I don't know, man. I always say, man, let the game be played out. But if Jackson State's offense is hitting like it was last week, it's not going to be very, very many teams that compete with them. I sat out today, actually. I went and watched some of the Tennessee State game versus Eastern Washington or something like that. Very first play of the game, very first possession for Tennessee State. They run a little token run play to the right. Dude breaks about 4 or 5 tackles, and he's off and gone for like a 66-yard run. So they do have some playmakers to kind of keep it competitive. I don't know if they have enough. We shall see, man. But we're just basically talking about why Jackson State is, deciding to leave such a historic classic. Again, man, this game has been played since 1990, man. 1990. In front of thousands and thousands of fans. Like I said, I believe a lot of families probably plan their traveling football vacations around this, man. And I see we got some latecomers in here, man. Y'all make sure y'all comment. Let me know you're here. My man, Wise Guy says, watch the dust. Yeah, he was out, man. I watched that game earlier today. I don't like this music. I'm gonna change it. But like I said, I think some of these families they actually go out and plan their traveling vacation football season around this event, man. Because from what I hear, it's one of the best. What's the word I'm looking for? Traditional style games that you can ever attend, man. Ever attend. The classic is what I'm looking for. So what I'm hearing, it's one of the best. And we know Jackson State and a lot of SWAC schools are obligated to play in a lot of classes. And with Coach Prime coming into the fold of things, I think he's just kind of figuring out that for his program, not others' program, not Tennessee State, not Bethune-Cookman, not anybody else in the SWAC or the OBC, for his program moving forward, I think he wants to try to include some bigger like teams, man, possibly, man. You know, the story came out probably in June or late July that somebody asked him about, playing Alabama, and he said, we're not ready for them yet, but give me 2 to 3 years. So this might be his type of, thinking, like if we can get rid of one game and include another FBS school, gives them a chance to, play some of these bigger schools. That's part of it. The other reason why he said is with them playing in so many classes, right? They just played in the Orange Blossom Classic, right down in Miami, not a home game. And then you go off and play in the Southern Heritage Classic game, not a home game. So neutral sites, but basically it's a home game for Tennessee State. But he's saying that, going to these classes all the time is taking away his team from playing in front of their own fans, playing at home. And we all know, man, yes, folks like to travel, right? We do, man. We do. Like, it's interesting to go see other states and other places. But it's nothing like playing in front of your home fans, man. It's nothing like playing in front of your home fans, man. So I think this is part of the reason why Coach Prime is looking into this like that. Franklin Cunt says, what's up, Franklin, man? Welcome back. Says JSU has a Heisman candidate at quarterback. We as HBCU fans need to push that narrative because he's playing against good competition. And it's going to take a hell of a season, man. If y'all old enough to remember what Ed McNair did at Alcorn, for him to get that type of recognition, and might be a little easier for Shedeur, QB number 2 or 2 as he calls himself now, speaking in third person. It's going to give him a chance with social media, with the fans, with YouTube, and everybody to do this type of thing. So it's going to be a little easier for him to, get that type of recognition. But it's going to be hard, man. The media is still very, very biased, man. We can't deny that. We can't deny it at all. But Shedeur is going to continue to have these type of blowout games where he's, getting 3 to 5 touchdowns every game, maybe 1 or 2 rushing touchdowns in that time span. So 44 TDs, you know what I'm saying? Something like 7 interceptions, almost 4,000 yards is going to what it's going to take for Shedeur to get this type of recognition, man. I'm just being honest. Nick says, man, play top FCS first, man. It's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I ain't got no problem with that, man. Got no problem with that. Play the top FCS like North Dakota State, right? All right. I'm sure they will be willing to do that down the line, man. This is a process, man. It's not instant success. It's very, very rare that you have a program go from 0 to the best thing smoking. Like, it's very, very rare. So I'm not disputing that. Stop talking about FBS schools, man. FBS schools are part of the equation. So I don't understand what's the hate towards that situation. It's part of the equation, man. So, and shout out to Franklin. If those schools don't catch up, JSU is going to be dominating them. And I've said this in some of my past lives. Jackson State, man, they're building they're trying to build a dynasty, and I don't want to give it to them just yet, man. I seen somebody on Facebook today talking about Jackson State is basically going to be the Miami Hurricanes in the '90s, right? That's all fine and dandy, man. But that team won a lot, man. Even that 2001 Miami Hurricane team that had like 18 guys drafted. Um, Give me 2, 3, 4 years of pure domination, sweeping the SWAC, going on to win the Celebration Bowl, all these other things. But the dynasty is in the making, so I'm not going to deny that at all either. Um, but Franklin, you're right. These other schools have to change up their mindset, change up their mindset in recruiting. I talked about this on my live on Monday afternoon, Monday morning that a lot of folks came into. So yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. JSU is an FBS team masquerading an SES team. Let's be honest, man. They got a hell of talent, man. Hella fine talent. Uh, Franklin also says Coach Deion Sanders is the best coach in college football. Yeah, I've seen you post that a lot. He's trending, right? He's trending, right? I don't like to live in the prisoner of the moment. Even though they won the SWAC last year undefeated, it's still a small sample size in what's happening with this group. Um, so just a little bit more, man. But I will say this: with him being who he is and his personality, he's able to relate to these guys like no other, man. And Dion is one of the best marketers of himself ever. He's up there with the levels of The Rock, man. If you're a fan of wrestling back in the '90s, early 2000s, The Rock didn't. Speaking in third person, like Shadur was speaking on Saturday, once he got benched, uh, that type of marketing, that type of stuff is going to continue to draw attention to this group. Not North Dakota State, UT Martin, Austin P. I'm with you on that, man. Steve McNair was awesome, awesome. R.I.P. to Steve McNair. But man, let's get back to Southeast Missouri. I got you. Um, I believe he can do it with the team around him. It's possible. If Shadur gets like 45 touchdowns and 4,000 yards, man, I don't think that the media could ignore it as much as they could back in the day. Again, social media is a driving force right now for these younger players in these smaller schools per se. So Shadur puts up that type of stats, man, and I did a video probably about 2 months ago saying that Shadur might break some records. Um, Shadur would be an All-American type of stuff. But my fear was if they're blowing people out like this, he's going to be on the bench a lot of times mid third quarter, early fourth quarter. So that might hurt him in the long run because he might not be able to put up those extra type of stats that you see where a lot of colleges who wants a Heisman candidate allow their quarterback to play late into the fourth quarter, man. So that's something to look out for. But again, we're talking about the Southern Heritage Classic. As fans, are you upset in the route that Coach Prime is basically, excuse me, it's basically taken, man? He wants more home games for his kids. That's the main reason I think he wants more home games for his kids when they have to go play in back to back classics, right? That's two potential home games that you can have for your fans who are not able to travel, and especially in the HBCU world, you're going to have older fans, right, who are been around for a while. They might not have the ability to travel like they used to. They might not have. They might be injured. They might be hurt. Might be in a wheelchair. Might have some other health concerns that don't allow them to travel, and so the Jackson State home games is their only chance to see their team play. So I understand what Coach Prime is doing, but it kind of dampers the spirit a little bit to me, taken away from a classic that's been going on for 30 years. I understand tradition. I really do. I'm gonna put up the stream link here in a bit and allow folks to come in here and jump in and share their thoughts. Franklin said that's true. T Doss, what's up, man? What's up, folks? Tierra was in the building. Okay, I watched the TSU highlights like 6 times. AEW defense is slower and missed a lot of tackles. I don't know if their O line is legit, especially against our D line. Jackson State doesn't look like they have a weakness at all. Like it does from top to bottom. And you go back and you watch all these channels right now that's out there reporting on these things. People all across the board saying there was such and such that didn't play. Like Shiloh didn't play. We know that for sure. We don't. I'm hearing reports that he's gonna come back the third game. I'm hearing some people say he's towards the end of the season. A lot of guys, Nugget, I think he didn't get a lot of time or whatever the case may be. So with them dudes playing like they did on this past Sunday, it's going to be very, very hard for any team to beat them. And then with Travis Hunter, we all know what he did. He basically shut down one side of the field. They threw at him maybe 3 or 4 times. He had a tip ball once. He caused an interception and allowed another guy to get an interception. So that defense is looking like they didn't lose anything. And it's crazy, man. I did a video again. I did another video. And I said that Jackson State's defense this year basically has the chance to be better than what they was last year. And it's looking like that off the rip, man. Again, small sample size. We have to, take it, with a grain of salt and understand what's happening, man. So T. Dot says classes are for the fans, all fans, sport, local. Again, I understand that. But Coach Prime, I think he just wants his guys at home, right? He wants his guys to have more home games. Again, you're playing 2 classes at neutral sites. It takes away from your chance to play 2 potential home games, right? It takes away from recruits actually being able to visit the campus more than just homecoming or later in the season, right? So you're missing out on potential recruits, even though Jackson State is getting recruits out the ass right now. Excuse my language. They're getting recruits out the butt right now. But having more home games or having an even amount of home games that you do away, it helps you in recruiting, man. It's just the basics of college sports, man, college recruiting. So I understand what you're saying, T. Dots, but it takes away from the kids, man, just being at home. Again, the other thing it does takes away being on the road a lot. It makes you miss class, right? It makes you miss class. If you have a Thursday away game, I don't know if Jackson State plays on a Thursday, so you have a Thursday away game. Depending on where you're at, you're probably leaving Tuesday, right? Tuesday night or Wednesday morning, so you're missing that whole day of Wednesday instruction. If you play on a Friday or a Saturday, right? You're probably leaving Thursday night or Friday morning, so you're missing some classroom time. So I understand the dynamics of all this stuff because I played collegiate basketball. I did. Our coach make sure that his schedule, our away game schedule, was kind of not interfering with our classwork. So I understand that. Franklin says, "Do you think it's right for Jackson State to have to travel all the time? They only have 4 games at home this year. They at least deserve 6." Again, this is what I'm saying. You only have 4 home games, and you basically, in college football, you play 10 to 11 games, right? And then in the SWAC, I think if you finish first, you have you host the SWAC championship game. So potentially they're only getting 5 games at home. That's not. It's not very feasible, man. It's not very likable, in my opinion. Speaking from a player's mindset, me personally, I didn't mind playing on the road, but I know some of my teammates would rather play at home. And same thing in football. There are some players who enjoy going out to play on the road because they like traveling. They like being able to see different stadiums, different places, man. And that's one of the best things about sports. Sports has taken me across this country, taken me to some places I never even thought I would visit. So that's one of the best things about sports. But there are some guys who are just don't like to travel, like to be at home. There might be some guys who have family in Jackson and know that their family members can't go, travel like that. Right? So it's a double-edged sword when dealing with this type of stuff, man. Tierra Terry says, I think JSU probably beat EWU really bad, honestly, man. Jackson State gonna be a lot of folks bad. Shit. As simple as that. There's no doubt in my mind Jackson State University can beat North Carolina. Not a no doubt, man. Any given Saturday, if they play like they did this past Sunday, they'd have beat a lot of FBS schools. TSU have injuries. I haven't seen any reports yet. Again, it's just Tuesday. I think injury reports a lot of times, even in college football, don't come out till Wednesday or Thursday. Alabama only play one neutral site game a year, and the rest of their home games are scheduled. They play. Alabama is. I mean, Alabama plays a lot of guaranteed games, so they're of course they're going to get they're the cream of the crop in the FBS still, even though they didn't win the national championship last year. But a lot of teams that they schedule have to go play Alabama. One, because most guaranteed games, money games, are played at the opponent's home turf. Two, if they go travel to another stadium, if they're playing a team not on the same level as them, they're not going to be able to accommodate those type of fans. That city might not be able to accommodate, with hotels and all those type of things, cars and whatnot. So it is what it is. T does exactly. So what's wrong with us doing what we can to ensure revenue for our schools? So yeah, four home games is unbelievable, man. Unbelievable, man. So how other than selling your guys on that everybody wants to see you lose, everybody wants to see you play, see what y'all got. How do you sell your campus, right? How do you sell your campus if you don't have enough weekends for recruits to come visit your campus and you only got four home games? That's it's tough, man. And like I said at the beginning of this stream, I understand. I really, really do understand the classics. I understand it. Southern Heritage Classic has been played for nearly 30 years, right? These opponents been going back and forth. Um, the matchup is 17-11 with Jackson State. I'm sorry, with Tennessee State in the lead. Jackson State won last year, 38-16. Actually, they won the last 2 years, I believe. They didn't play during the COVID year in 2020. There was a time where Jackson State lost 6 in a row at one point. So I understand that, man. And big events that go around this, the city that is held in, I believe in Memphis, they generate tons of revenue this weekend, on the Southern Heritage Classic weekend. A lot of revenue is driven into that city, into that region, into that market. Great for them. But Coach Prime is looking out for his players, man. You can't always look out for the other man. It's simple, man. When you're looking out for the other man, sometimes it brings you down. It causes issues within, man. So I think he's moving in the right direction. I believe he's moving in the right direction. Bethune-Cookman, another school, only has 4 home games. Appreciate that, T Dots. Oh man, all the people that's in here, man, I appreciate y'all on your Tuesday night. You're probably trying to get ready for bed, man. So I appreciate y'all. Y'all make sure y'all hit that thumbs up button on YouTube, subscribe. Then once you subscribe, hit that bell button. If you're on Facebook, make sure you hit the like button. If you're on Twitch, man, hit that like button as well. We're trying to generate new viewers, new subscribers. For folks who just coming in, we're talking about the Southern Heritage Classic. Should it continue? Should Jackson State leave? I think there was a lawsuit that was brought up against Jackson State for wanting to leave. All these other things. So crazy stuff. I'm sorry. If anybody wants to join in and kind of share their thoughts, just copy and paste the stream link right there, and come rock with your boy and share your thoughts. Again, I enjoy these type of stuff, these type of topics. I think this was important to speak about. I think it was very, very important to speak about as I try to turn down some of this music. I'm sorry if it's too loud. It's a little too loud in my ears. But yeah, man, anybody who wants to copy the link and jump in on this, make sure you hit that like button. Also, if you like what we do over here, you can hit the super chat, or you can super sticker, or you can hit the Cash App. Cash App is the $ between the game sports. Each letter and each first letter in each word is capitalized. So all this stuff that y'all do donate, appreciate the donations over the weekend. All this stuff goes back into the channel. We were able to get the digital background right here. We got our elite camera rocking and rolling. We got our microphone right here. All these things help. So it's not going in vain, your donation. And also, Super Chat gets priority, right? If you Super Chat, man, make sure I jump right into it. So any questions you have, definitely, if you want to do that, get priority, do that as well. Some folks will call that selfish. I so, some folks will call it selfish, and that's just bottom line. In sports or in life in general, you can't please everybody. You cannot please everybody. And I think Coach Prime, Deion Sanders has just taken the mindset that he wants to do what he feels is best for his program, his organization. And if he wants to try to have more home games, I think it's right, man. I think it's right? Again, most times you play 10, 11 games. So you should have 5-5 or 6-5 or whatever the case may be. You might have a home and away series and something like that. But basically for Tennessee State, it's called a neutral site game. But this is basically a home game for them. It's basically a home game for them. So they don't have to get and travel far. Not as far as Jackson, I don't believe, man. Somebody, if you know the mileage, please put it in the chat. Tierra says BCU is not JSU. Okay, 60,000 possible fans. ESPN, big time players make big time plays. Stop pretending like it's the same situation. Yeah, Bethune Cookman is not on the level of Jackson State, and to be honest, there's no HBCU right now on the level, and there are some FBS schools who are not on the level of Jackson State right now. So Coach Prime, me and my guy Hoop Jordan, he was on here earlier with his alternate channel, Wise Guys. Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to both of those channels, Wise Guys and Hoop Jordan. He was on here earlier, and we talked about this, how Coach Prime has been in rooms that some of us can only dream about being in. Man, he's been in rooms with millionaires. He's a millionaire himself, right? He made millions of dollars playing professional football. He's worked at CBS. He's worked at the NFL Network. So he knows people that knows people that knows people, right? The right people to know. So he's been in these type of rooms that some of us can only ever dream about being in. So he understands marketing. He understands the business side of things. He understands that, for his kids to kind of get more recognition the way he wants, um, in the region, allow his kids to play more home games. So it's a different type of mindset that this dude have, and he's preaching it to these young men. And this is why he's able to get these recruits. Just got a big lineman, offensive lineman from USC. Huge. He's like 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", 300 pounds. Just massive. He was able to get, I want to say AJ Doyle from Texas A&M. To replace a James Houston, who James Houston was a transfer from the University of Florida. He's able to get these Shiloh Sanders' son transfer from South Carolina, right? So he's able to sell more and more to these youth, even though he's an older cat. He's able to relate to these what other schools can't do, other coaches can't do, and every other HBCU right now is scrambling, trying to find them a Deion Sanders. But we have to understand there's only one Deion Sanders, right? There's only one Deion Sanders. And y'all saw the video where he's talking about the Hall of Fame and how all these guys are getting in the Hall of Fame now, right? Getting in the Hall of Fame, right? And he's basically saying he's one of one. So his headstone, the statue that they give, he's saying that his headstone should be higher than those dudes, man. It's only one Deion Sanders. So all these other schools are trying to duplicate that. It's going to be very hard for them to do. Somebody mentioned in my live the other day, the HBCU that's out there in Baltimore, that they should try to get a Ray Lewis. That will work well for them, right? That will work well for for them to get a Ray Lewis, energetic, big personality. He's a believer of Lord, of God. Our culture loves Jesus and all these other things, God and all these other things. So he will be able to get his recruiting in that region done pretty well, man. So, but again, only one Coach Prime, man. Yeah, only one. It's hard, and I'm gonna play the video um, of him actually saying why he's ready to rock and roll away from this issue. So let me get ready to share the stream. Before I do that, let me get to some of the comments. Y'all make sure y'all hit that thumbs up button for me. Appreciate it. T. Dawes says, my point is we have to look at it from a holistic point of view. It's a team sport, right? Absolutely. All right. The only individual sports out there is golf, right? Which most folks don't even consider a game. Is golf and swimming. Sometimes you got tennis. Tennis basically is a lone sport. But everything else that's major in this country is a team sport. So I get what you're saying, man. I get what you're saying. Uh, Gina says, Coach Prime is not only trying to affect change in HBCU football, but also the communities there are. Exactly. And so, great point, Gina. Great point. So if you're, and he's been talking about this last year, he said he don't only want to see homecoming packed out, even though Jackson State was top 3 in the nation last year in attendance, right? Across the board. I think they were top 3 in the nation last year. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But he said that he doesn't want to only have homecoming packed out, right? He wants all homecomings packed out. And so when you do that, again, if you have more home games, right? Instead of having 4, you have 5, maybe 6. Think about how much more money is generated into that area, right? Into that region, into that campus, if you have more home games, because if the people show up like he wants it packed out, it's going to cause people to go out and buy, athletic gear, Jackson State gear. It's going to go out and make them go to the restaurants that's surrounding the campus, surrounding the area. All these the hotels are going to get more money because people are getting rooms. Like it makes sense from a business mindset, and Coach Prime is a businessman, man. He's a coach, but he's also a businessman because he's been doing this for so long, man. So long. T. Dot says Coach Prime is amazing for HBCUs. This is a temporary position for JSU, so get it while you can. Nothing wrong with that. I respect that belief right there. A lot of folks say he will be around for 5 to 6 years. Excuse me, my back is hurting. 5 to 6 years. His daughter is a freshman there, so we know that he's not going to want to leave his daughter while his sons are getting ready to go on to the next level or whatever the case may be. I'm trying to find the video where Coach. So this is from a WAPT sports. So I'm gonna play this. Hopefully they don't, mess me up with this. So y'all get a chance to kind of check this out, and y'all can see what Coach Prime is talking about with his beliefs on why he doesn't want to do the classics anymore. So y'all check this out if you have not already. I'll go ahead and play it for you. Then we'll get back to the comments.
2-3 in the Orange Blossom Classic. I'm sure Coach Prime will never get tired of that. We could do a little bit less classic. Jackson State announced in February we'll be pulling out of the Southern Heritage Classic against Tennessee State after this year. A decision that led to a lawsuit from the bowl operation company. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, so there was a lawsuit. I was right, man, and I'm pretty sure I did a video about this. So they just said February, I believe. So y'all make sure y'all go back and check that out, man. So there was a lawsuit filed against Jackson State.
Game is this weekend. Coach Prime says he's a little bit tired of all the classics.
We're there to play football. I don't know how this could be awkward when you come to play football. The purpose is to play football, and that's what we're coming to play. As far as the business aspect of that, it's not beneficial to us. It's not suitable for us. And we love the classic. It's a wonderful classic. We just don't want to play it.
Classics were so 2021 anyway.
So there you have it, man. Coach Prime, man. He's done with it, man. And from my thoughts and my, deductive reasoning from it, I think he's on the money with this, man. I think he's on the money. My guy, was that T. Dawson said it or Franklin that said it? They only have 4 home games, man. So how can you get excited each week to go out there and say, man, we only got 4 home games, man? that's just very, very tough for me, man, to kind of sell that to somebody else. Um, let's see, Chuck Hunt checking in from Monroe, Louisiana, man. Appreciate you, Chuck. If you have not subscribed, please do so. And again, for folks who are in here, man, don't be afraid to comment. If you want, the smallest thing you can do is let me know where you're from, like my man Ronald just did. Uh, Chuck Hunt, I'm sorry. Let me know where you're from so I can give you a shout out, man. I always like to hear from where people are from, man, because everybody has a different story, man. If y'all seen any of my game lives, you understand, like at halftime of my games and stuff, when I'm doing the games, I allow folks to promote their business, their small business, their service, their nonprofit, um, their Instagram, their Twitter, as long as it's pertaining to something positive, right? Especially as if it's something for the kids. I love doing that, man. I've been an AAU coach for years. I've been working with kids for years. I used to be in education, so if it has anything to do with kids, man, I'm all for promoting it in a positive way. So if you ain't got nothing else to say at all, at least say where you're from so I can know. Genia says, but everyone is not a coach, just like everyone can be a teacher. Yep, man. Like I said, weird. I just saw that comment. I used to be in education. It ain't for everybody. It ain't for everybody. And I don't know how it is in other states right now, but basically in Texas, they're hiring pretty much people off the street. And so you're telling me you would rather give somebody new who has no teaching experience, has no desire to be in education, and I'm gonna make this quick, no desire to be in education, who's just looking for the money. You're gonna give them 65,000, 68,000, instead of being loyal to the teachers who have been grinding it for 10 years, 15, 20 years, and they're barely making 70,000, 72. And you got teachers who had no desire to be in education. You're giving them pretty much the same amount. That's crazy. So I don't even want to get into that. Kenny Banks says the O-line did a pretty. The O-line deserves helmet stickers, and I need to try to incorporate that. I need to try to give an award out after my lives and stuff like that. The O-line was the MVP of the game, and when we can pick out, you can pick out the defense, right? The defense had 2 pick six. They had sacks. They forced a fumble. We had a fumble recovery. Shadura, of course, did his thing at 89% completion rating, 5 touchdowns, if I remember correctly. He was like 29 or 33. But none of that happens unless the O-line is out there doing their freaking job, man. Unless the O-line, and they did a tremendous job compared to what you've seen last year. That O-line collectively in that one game right there was better than 5 or 6 total games than what they did last year. And again, I hate to kind of critique young men because I once was in that position as being a collegiate athlete. So I'm not going to get on them and critique them like I would do a NBA player or NFL player or a pro player. But it was obvious that revamped offensive line was ready to rock and roll. They were talked about a lot last year. They were talked about because everybody considered them the weak point of the team. So their pride was on the line, and so I give them a salute on taking the initiative to say, hey, we're not going to have the same mess that we had last year. You saw different type of plays. You saw a play action pass from Jackson State last year, and if I remember correctly, you didn't see not one play action pass last year, because a lot of times when Shaduro hiked the ball, said hike, the dude was basically running for his life, man. Like my man DJ Raw Uncut would say a lot of times. And shout out to T-Dawes. Memphis is 210 miles from Jackson. Memphis is 212 miles from Nashville. Yeah, so basically the same. I got you. WAPT Jackson, Mississippi News Station. It's the game on TV, Jackson State versus TSU. And it's funny saying TSU because I'm from Texas, man, and TSU means Texas Southern University here. But, Tennessee State University. From what I'm thinking, it's not on ESPN. I believe it's on CBS Sports Network. I believe it's on CBS Sports Network. I don't even know if I had that channel, man. So I might have to be listening on the radio myself for that, man. I don't even know if I had it. And it's gonna be a dope game, I believe. Orlando's in the building. Shout out to Orlando, Florida. Calvin Johnson, man, what's up, Johnson? You might be my third or fourth cousin, man. We got the same last name. Um, Appreciate you dropping through. Veronica Hill, Brandon, Mississippi's in the building. Salute to you. Finisher, three-time Prime's ultimatum to JSU will come in Shadur's senior year. Either leave the SWAC or he's gone. JSU is completely dominating the SWAC, and this is not a good thing. Why is it not a good thing? I think it forces other teams to try to get better. I think it forces other teams to try to get better. This is why you see Southern going back to get Eric Dooley, right? And Eric Dooley just coming off a SWAC championship game against Jackson State. You see a Grambling trying to get a Hugh Jackson. You see Alabama State, who's off to a 2-0 start, right? Go get one of their guys, and Eddie Robinson Jr. So I think this is a good thing. It forces other teams to get better. You have to try to get better. Or, again, Jackson State is going to run through the SWAC. Genia says, with only 4 home games, they are generating the revenue to make the changes necessary to grow and to be competitive. Exactly. Ronald Hunt says you bring intelligence to sport. Man, I appreciate that, man. Let me give you a horn for that. I don't even know if it's working. I ain't got my sound effects up, but I would have given you a horn if it was working, man. I appreciate that. This is why I do this type of stuff. I try not to speak from the barbershop perspective for any man, young man, any older man. If you've been to the barbershop, you see all these dudes talking about sports, and they basically have no freaking clue what the hell they're talking about. But I try to speak from a mindset of understanding coaches, understanding the players, understanding the fans, because I'm all of that rolled into one because I still coach. I used to play a lot. Basically haven't played basketball in about 4 years, man. I was all right, man. Earned myself a scholarship at Stephen F. Austin, right? Didn't score a lot. I was a scorer in high school, but in college, totally different level. But I won Defensive Player of the Year from my school, which is a great accomplishment. I take pride in that. So I can speak a little bit about everything. I can do barbershop talk, but I'd rather not. And that's part of the reason why I keep my channel clean. I don't allow much cursing in here. Ray in Southwest Atlanta, Georgia. Shout out to Georgia in the building. My mother's retired educator in Monroe, Louisiana. She saw the changes when she knew it was time to retire. That's crazy, man. Because my mother retired in 2009 and she taught for 33 years. And basically, from my standpoint or my view of this thing, she retired because I think one time I was visiting and there was some woman who was like 27 or something, 28. And my mother was much older. And this young lady came in, saying I'm this new such and such, and was basically trying to tell my mother how to teach. And my mother had been teaching before she was even born. Like it was crazy. And so she saw the change. She couldn't teach the way she wanted to teach anymore. So she dipped, man. So that's crazy. New Caney's in the building. Shout out to New Caney, man, not too far from H-Town, which is where I'm from. Calvin Johnson says we are our fam supporting these young ones, brother. Yeah, man, gotta support these young kids. And that's something some of my mentors, my youth coaches told me to do. So this is my way of giving back. This is why I do interviews with collegiate coaches. So that anybody out there who knows a collegiate coach, especially at the D1 level, and there's no slight to D2, D3, NAIA, JUCO, every kid wants to go play at Division One, man. Like if you're around kids a lot and they're in youth sports, they want to play D1. So if don't get me wrong, I would take a D2, D3, any coach at that level. So if you know a D1 coach, any coach at the collegiate level, send them my way. I would love to interview them. I started this channel doing interviews with collegiate coaches. That was my passion to pass on information. So anybody out there, Ronald Hunt said I attended the Orange Blossom Classic last year, which I saw Shadur get a hit a lot, which he was fumbling. Yeah, and it was bad weather out there. It was some bad weather for both teams, but Jackson State was fortunate to win that game and go on to win the SWAC. Veronica Hill, appreciate you coming through. There are no starters on the O-line from last year. All new line, yeah. And Veronica, what I'm saying is that O-line basically said, we're not going to be the guys from last year. They knew that everyone was saying that the O-line from last year was the weak link. So me speaking from a player perspective, they knew that the world was going to be watching how they could protect Shador, which they did a hell of a job. I think they only gave up 2 sacks. Might be the most. I think might have been 1. So that's what I'm saying, Veronica. I'm not saying it's the same guy. I'm saying that they knew mindset-wise that we have to be better, and they were better. Ray Ballard says Coach Prime brings an outsider's perspective to HBCU football. And Mr. Ray Ballard, um, I'm gonna call you Mr. Ballard, man. I always try to show respect. I don't know if you're older than me or not. Um, and it's crazy because there are a lot of folks. I'm glad you said that. There are a lot of folks who are upset with Coach Prime still to this day. To this day, who are upset with Coach Prime being an outsider. Right? He's not a blue blood. He went to Florida State. He doesn't understand it. This and that. And he's bringing this new perspective. And there are a lot of traditional folks again who wants to still play in these classics. They don't understand what he's doing, and it's anything. It's human nature. If y'all a big rap person, Nas said in one of his songs called "Hate Me Now," he says, "People fear what they don't understand," and then he goes on into some other stuff. But basically, for that part, people fear what they don't understand, and it's just that simple. There are a lot of older folks and some of the younger folks who don't understand what he's trying to do, and so it is causing some friction. Man, appreciate that comment. Walter Harley's from Washington, Maryland, in the house. Appreciate you, Walter. Um, Calvin Johnson says, yeah, Eddie Jr. is doing his thing. Good to see that legacy there, coach. Yeah, he's doing his thing, man. 2-0. He's off to a 2-0 start. He beat Howard, which was a crazy situation. I think they played that game into the next night. They had like bad weather at some point, just like the Texas Southern game versus Prairie View in the Labor Day Classic out here. They had an hour and 15-minute rain delay. And I think it might have been a little longer with that game versus Howard. And then they beat Miles College the other day. So they haven't played anyone in conference yet. But you got 2 wins under your belt with Coach Eddie Robinson Jr. So you got your guys feeling well coming up. I think they go out and play. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I think they go play UCLA this weekend. So that might be a task in hand for themselves. Ray Ballard, Coach Prime is teaching HBCUs the importance of social media. You cannot be in this world, especially in sports, and certain other life aspects, businesses and other stuff like that. You can be without social media, man. I know a lot of folks who don't have social media, but in sports now, you have to have social media. And if you're an athlete, you have to have Twitter. You're a prospective collegiate athlete, you have to have Twitter. Why? Because a lot of coaches do Twitter. They do Instagram a little bit, but most collegiate coaches do Twitter. I know for sure in basketball, right? So basketball is my sport, and I'm around a lot of collegiate basketball coaches. They do Twitter. They don't really do TikTok, and I'm still mad at myself that I didn't get on the TikTok train when it first started, because I'm like, man, I'm not doing it. I was being an old stubborn guy. I'm not doing that crap. But it's a different avenue. So I get what you're saying. Will there be a CJ Jones? What are you saying? Will it be a broadcast for the Tennessee State game, Jackson State game? I don't know, man. I don't know if I have that channel. Once you stop playing, ever go back, man. I stopped playing because, man, the last game that I played in, man, I got hit in my neck and I felt something pop just down. And that was pretty much it for me, man. I'm like, I got tired of playing. Got tired of getting beat up, man. So I'm a big guard. So I would take a lot of hit. And what pissed me off the most, the referee didn't call the foul. That's what pissed me off the most. So, man, again, man, anyone in the chat right now, if you would like to join this stream, please do so. Just copy the link, and I will allow you to come up here and share your thoughts. I will allow you to come up here and share your thoughts. I'm that type of dude. I'm that type of dude when it comes to this stuff, man. Again, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. We just hit the 50-minute mark. We had about 70 people here at one point. For those who are just trickling in here, make sure you hit that. If you're on Facebook, hit the like button, or you can heart it, right? Heart it works great, right? Heart, the heart function on Facebook is way better than thumbs up. It pushes it through the algorithm way more. If you're on YouTube, make sure you're hitting the thumbs up button. Make sure you're hitting the thumbs up button. And then subscribe if you have not subscribed. And then once you subscribe, hit that bell button. So if you subscribe, man, if you are a new subscriber or been a subscriber, let me know in the comments so I can give you a shout out, man. I appreciate it. And then if you like what we do, man, you can hit the Cash App. You can hit the Cash App. Or you can hit the Super Chat.
Tell them to bring me my money.
Or you can hit the Super Chat. And obviously, man, who was that earlier? Now my horns and stuff are working. So, who was that guy that said that earlier? I think I lost it. I think that was Ronald saying I bring intelligence to this. So there's your horn, Ronald. Got it working. There's your horn. Let's get to some of these comments. Yeah, Ronald says, yes, Alabama State is playing UCLA this weekend. Yeah, so that's going to be a tough trip, right? You're going to the West Coast, different time zone, right? So tough trip, right? But they go out there and play, man. Go out there and play. I hate the underdog story. I mean, I don't mind cheering for them, but just go out there and play, man. You go play your hardest, and you live with the results. And then, again, I'm a basketball trainer at heart, and I've been training this young lady in basketball all summer. And her goal is to make varsity. Right? Goal is to make varsity this year. She worked her butt off, and she was going into trials today. She had trials this morning. She did okay. Right? Putting a lot of pressure on herself, and I basically just told her, man, go out there. You put the work in, right? You work harder than anybody in the summertime, and you go out there and do your best. And then at the end of the day, you live with the results. Right? You live with the results. CJ Jones said, "Did you know that Vicky Jones was a reporter from the game?" No, I did not know that. I did not know that. T. Dodds, do you think Bethune-Cookman will beat SC State this Saturday? I don't know. I didn't see the SC State game. I seen a little bit of highlights from Bethune-Cookman. The craziest highlight I seen from last week was the South Carolina State punter who ran for about 15 yards and then decided to punt. If y'all saw that, man, that was crazy. That was crazy. Like that was obviously a Sports Center, not top 10. Bethune-Cookman lost a lot of close games last year. They lost some games. I think they had 4 or 5 games where they lost within 6 points or less. 6 points or less. So I don't know. And that game will be on ESPNU Plus. ESPN Plus. That game is Butch Alcindor and Jorge Vargas is going to do that game, which they did the Labor Day Classic. Butch Alcindor, for folks who are new to this channel, I've interviewed him twice. Really, really good guy. He actually was a sports reporter in Houston when I was in high school. And if I remember correctly, he interviewed me in high school, or he interviewed my high school team. I need to find that footage. Man, so y'all can see. And I had a nappy afro. I went high school. I just didn't care about my hair. Older now, and I'm lucky enough to still have a pretty decent set of hair. But it's the Southern Heritage Classic, man. I really want to know. I just want an honest opinion. And you can kind of go into details for anyone in the comments, but you can go with just yes or no. Are you upset that Jackson State, whether you be a Jackson State fan or a Tennessee State fan, TSU fan, are you upset with the way Coach Prime has approached this? Are you upset that this game may not ever happen again? Because like I said, I think there are a lot of families out there who plan they travel football season around this game. So there are some fans who probably every single year they're making sure that they are getting to the Southern Heritage Classic. I think I believe it in my whole heart because I know how fans are, man. I know how fans are. So let me know in the comments. I really, really want to know yes or no. Maybe you can go into detail, or you can't go into, or you don't have to go into detail. And I haven't even spoke about this from the Tennessee State side of things. Um, Eddie George, right? He he said in his quote, he says, um, I can't find it. I can't find it. Oh my goodness. Oh, Eddie George says, I don't know how it looks from the business side of things as far as the continuation of the classic. He says, I know from the Jackson State side that they want a different type of business structure. And he's saying that they have every right to do it or whatever. So he basically said this is the last chance for each team to kind of compete. And of course, with Jackson State winning last year in 38-13 fashion, 38-16 fashion, Tennessee State wants to leave out on the high note in this classic. Classic, if this is never going to happen again and again. Tennessee State leads the all-time series 17-11. But Jackson State has won the last two. So both of these teams are going to play their butt off. They're going to play hard, right? Because you're going to want to have those bragging rights forever, man. And Eddie George and Deion Sanders have competed at the highest level in the NFL. So I'm sure when they see each other, they're both in the Hall of Fame. So when they see each other, if this is the last meeting, one of them are going to have the last up on them, even though Coach Sanders has it, from the previous year. So just speaking from the Tennessee side of things, that if this classic doesn't happen anymore, they're going to lose that area, Memphis area, is going to lose a lot of revenue, right? And bottom line in sports, bottom line in this world, it's about money, man. Don't let anyone else fool you on the other crap. It's about money. Ronald Hunt says, I stayed up until Sunday morning listening to Alcorn State of Austin, which the game had a weather delay due to lightning strikes. Alcorn, yep. And I'm an SFA graduate, right? I played at Stephen F. Austin. And it was hard for me to kind of gauge it, man. Again, I'm looking at the score. I'm like, man, Alcorn is like kicking their butt. Stephen F. Austin finna get blown out. And then I turn around and see the score 31-27, and like I'm happy, but I'm like but and then I think SFA ended up dropping out of the polls because of that. CJ Jones says they're comfortable with letting go of the 20s to make hundreds. Yep, I hear you. Ray Gwesh, what's up, Ray? Appreciate you coming and coming through. I hope you subscribe. You said no. You're good with what Coach Prime is deciding to do. It's not helping the JSU or the community. So it makes sense, man. It makes sense. Respect my nerds. I love that name. Awesome name, man. Awesome name. He already said he didn't want to do any more classes. Yeah. Jackson State is playing only 4 games. Excuse me. 4 home games this year. Students on the road, trainers on the road, coaches away from their families a lot. If you've ever been a coach, you understand now you sacrifice a lot being a collegiate coach. If you have a family, you're missing family time. You might be missing your son's game, right? And Coach Prime has the fortune of coaching both of his sons. But other coaches, they might have some younger children, and they're playing in youth sports, and these guys are not able to see their kids play on the weekend because they're doing this and that, and they're on the road. And college football, you're playing pretty much every weekend, anyways. And for folks who have not heard me say this, I believe to this day, to be a college head coach, you have to be one of the craziest people in the world, besides being the president of this country, because a collegiate coach, a head coach, assistant coaches get the recruits, right? For the most part, assistant coaches are the ones who put kids on the head coach's radar. So, assistant coach is basically saying that this kid is going to be great for our program. You get him there, and then the kid turns out to be a bad student, bad teammate, whatever it may be. That collegiate coach is basically, that assistant coach is basically gone. And then for the head coach, your job, your livelihood, your family's livelihood is based off your ability to get 18 to 24-year-olds, almost 26-year-olds now because of the super senior stuff, to get these guys to buy into what you're selling, to get these guys to be one unit, to get these guys to win. You have to win to stay a collegiate coach. All right. And your livelihood is based off of these young men and young ladies. I would never be a collegiate coach. T. Dot says, I'm not a sale. I just feel Coach Prime needs a class in African studies, governance structure versus social structure. I suggested to him, man. Like, send him a book, send him a page, send him a tweet. All right, he might take it up on you. All right, there's nothing. Coach Prom looks like the guy is not afraid to learn something new. Genia says she's not upset. Okay, Jez, you've been getting pimped for a year. Not a year, my guy. Amazing by default. Appreciate you dropping through. Does JSU have another classic game? This game right here. I don't think they have any more. For folks who are more well versed in that, they can speak on it. And again, they only played one FBS school this year. Last year, they only played one, and University of Louisiana Monroe, which they should have beat. They ended up losing that game 7-12. Their defense gave up 4 field goals, and the offense just couldn't get it going again. The offense last year never caught up on how good the defense was. The defense was elite from the very first game against FAMU last year. This time, it looks like both sides of the ball are right, man. Jackson State defense forced 4 turnovers on Sunday. And then Coach Prime last year, I remember he got mad saying that me, Coach Prime, Coach Deion Sanders, one of the greatest defensive backs in the world ever, if not the best, my team doesn't have a interception. And then what did they do this past Sunday? They get 2 pick sixes. So it's crazy. Exactly, Genia. Ram Transport LLC playing home games makes money for the school and the city. Exactly. JSU Tigers rate win against Alabama A&M and Mobile Gulf Coast Challenge. Okay, they asked that, but that's a conference game, so it's not like a classic. CJ Jones, the classic just broke even last year. They could have made more money playing home games. Yeah. There are a lot of coaches who said they missed out on their children's activities because of the result of being in preparation. Those are coaches who have had divorces, man. When you're a coach, you have to find someone who understands sports, who has to understand, even if they don't understand sports, they have to understand your love and your passion for sports. So, tough. They playing ULM in 2023. Who was that to play last year? Was it Louisiana Lafayette? Did they play Louisiana Lafayette last year? It was one of those teams. But they lost that game 7-12, which they should have won. Offense. JSU Tigers, Bryan, Texas State 2023, and ULM in 2024. So there you go, right? So they're playing Campbell this year. They're only FBS schools. But if you can replace the Heritage Classic, oh, no, I don't think you can replace that, right? The Orange Blossom Classic, I don't think you can replace that. But the Southern Heritage Classic, if you can replace that with a home game and possibly maybe against an FBS school who wants to come down there and experience, Jackson, and not be a guaranteed game type of thing, that'd be great, man. And again, home games are very, very meaningful because your graduates from before, your alumni, the older alumni, especially that still live in that area, in that region, they will much rather travel to somewhere that they've been before. It just makes sense. And then you have the super fan who will travel to go see a team wherever they play at. So I understand that. But the majority, the most common fan, they will much rather see their team play at home because 1, they're more comfortable with it. 2, home field advantage. 3, they might see somebody that they hadn't seen in 10 to 15 plus years, man, run into them. So those memories come back. All this stuff makes sense to me in my eyes. In my eyes. Genia says Coach Prime said the hotel the team is staying back in Jackson is 15,000 a night because of the water. So 4 home games is a 15 G's. Good Lord. 15 G's.
Tell them to bring me my money.
That's the sound effect you get for that. 15 G's. 15 G's. Ooh. Hey, for some college programs, that's a one weekend, right? For some college programs, that's one weekend. Ticket sales, concession stands. Mr. Garrett says the P5 coaches are tired of neutral site games. Also, Kirby Smart wants to end the game with Florida. It's taxing, man. It takes a lot, man. Just think about a team like Georgia, right? Think about how many coaches they have to accommodate, right? The coach's family, the wives, the children. Uh, some of them might got side pieces, whatever it may be. Uh, the athletes that's on that roster, just countless buses, getting hotels, the trainers, right? They probably have about 20, 25 trainers. That's student trainers. And then you have the lead trainers, and that probably have 5. It's just too much of a grind to go playing these neutral site games. So I can understand why some coaches are like, oh, man, especially first game of the year. First game of the year, for the most part, you want to play at home. But, it's collegiate sports is a business, and I was saying that earlier. Ronald Hunt says Jackson State played at the University of Louisiana Monroe, which is coached by former Auburn University head coach Terry Bowden. Yes. And his son was a starting quarterback, I believe, or nephew, right? But they should have won that game last year. I hate even talking about it. Mr. Scans says, or Mrs. Scans, or Mrs. Cans. It's either Mrs. Scan, Mr. Scans, or Mrs. Cans. One of the two. I'm sorry if I got that wrong. First off, the game doesn't benefit JSU, never did. Why would you continue to do something that doesn't profit? Now, this is a so-called classic came to Jackson as well. It'll be beneficial to continue. Yeah. So, but who was that? My guy said earlier. This is basically. He said T-Dawg said that Memphis is 210 from Jackson and 212 from Nashville. So basically the same thing. But I get what you're saying. I really, really do get what you're saying. So we shall see. My bad, man. He said Mr. Cans, dude. Okay, I got you. Yeah, I got you. And basically bringing it back around to what I was saying earlier, Mr. Garrett says it also screws with recruiting. Yeah, and again, you get 4 home games. So basically now you're crunching almost every recruit that you can try to get in a 4-weekend time frame. And again, Jackson State is getting recruits out the wazoo. It's not hurting them, a lot, but it probably puts a little more stress on your recruiting coordinators, your assistant coaches. Uh, Jackson State one weekend, I think homecoming had like 200 and something recruits on campus. Man, a lot. I mean, most of those are unofficial visits, but you're not able to spread out your recruits like you need to be if you have that extra game, that extra 2 games of entertaining recruits for the weekend and stuff like that. So all this stuff plays a major part in things. Brian Wilson says Southern Heritage Classic over the past 30 years, $6 million total for JSU. That's crazy. A lot of money. Right? A lot of money. But how much of that money has been used for travel, right? For hotel fees and things of that nature. Genia says, I don't think JSU has throwaway money. And then this economy and this climate and we're still in a pandemic. Nobody has money to throw away. Rich Rodriguez was the offensive coordinator for University of Louisiana, which his son was the starting quarterback. Rodriguez is now the head coach at Jacksonville State. I appreciate that info, Ronald Hunt. Man, you are on it. I appreciate it, man. But again, I'm gonna give one final chance for a fan or subscriber to come out here and voice their opinions. Make sure y'all hit that like button for me. make sure you hit the like button. If you have not subscribed, please do so. If you have subscribed, put it in the comments. Says I'm a subscriber. I'll give you a shout out, and then put what city you from, what school you repping, what state, what country, what county, what province, what continent. It don't really matter to me. I'll give you a shout out. Give you guys one last chance to come up and make your claim if you want to voice your opinion. Uh, you don't have to just hit the comments. It's very, very fun. Whether you're on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube, just copy that link that's on the screen right there on this side. Copy that link, and it'll bring you up, and I'll bring you into the show, man. So that's how we get down over here, man. I really hope y'all enjoy what I'm doing on this channel. If you really, really enjoy what we're doing, you can hit the super chat, super sticker, or cash app. Cash app is the $ between the game sports. Each first letter and each word is capitalized. Brian Wilson said, right, that's like change, bro. Appreciate you. Appreciate Ram Transport LLC. We used to have 2 buses, offense and defense, and the semi for equipment, man. What school were you at, Ram? And so, but schools like Georgia can't have just two buses, right? Can't have 2 buses. Schools like Alabama can't have 2 buses. It's way too many officials and staff and administration run a hunt. I subscribe to the channel on Sunday while watching it. Appreciate you, man. Salute to you. Salute to you. Salute to you. So if anybody wants to come up, share their thoughts, please do so before we get ready to get out of here. If not, we're going to get ready to get out of here. I did a video today about Prairie View A&M. If y'all haven't seen it, go check it out. And then basically saying, can PD run their way to a SWAC title game, right? Prairie View basically ran for almost 400 yards against Texas Southern this past weekend in the Labor Day Classic. I don't think they completed a pass, right? So any coaches out there that watch that game, you're pretty much probably going to, fill up the box and dare them to pass the ball, man. Dare them to pass the ball. West Virginia, that's what's up, man. West Virginia, man. Did they win the other day? They played Pittsburgh. I don't know if they won. That was last week during 0 week. Man, we got a lot more good stuff coming this way on this channel. Again, I initially got in this to do college coaches interviews, which I've done plenty. Y'all make sure y'all go and check that out. I interviewed an NBA coach on this channel, skills development coach for the Los Angeles Clippers by the name of Chad Bell. I've interviewed ex coach that was at Vanderbilt, coaches at Texas A&M Corpus Christi, Abilene Christian, which somebody's going to play Abilene Christian this weekend. I want to say it's PV. PV is going to play Abilene Christian this weekend. It's at bowl games. I have 4 buses. No, Pittsburgh won. Okay, got it. Amazing by default. Checking that out. PV and yeah, amazing by default. She's a PV lady. Yeah, but I did a video earlier. It's about 8 minutes long. I was kind of rambling a little bit, but I do try to give you guys a different type of perspective, man. We can call in. When can we call in, man? I don't have my call-in stuff set up, man. I don't have my call-in stuff set up. Man, let me see. If you want to call in, let me know before I get into all that. I don't have my call-in stuff set up. It's been a while, man. Been a while. I used to have the call-in number right there. So let's see. It might work, man. There's a call-in number if you want to call in. So there's the call-in number if you want to call in. 936-337-1388. But yeah, man, that PV run their way to a SWAC title game? It's going to be interesting, man. They beat the dog crap out of Texas Southern. Texas Southern has a lot of work to do. It is what it is. But like I said, I got into this initially to do collegiate interviews. I did the assistant coach for Stanford the year that they went to the national championship game against South Carolina, the assistant coach at Stanford. I've done some high school coaches who given great perspective. I did a sports medicine doctor who graduated from the University of Dillard, um, which is a HBCU. Did you fix your camera from Sunday? Yeah, man, I got it fixed, man. I don't know what happened. I guess the cord kind of went out or whatever. The only thing I haven't gotten fixed is my TV mount that goes on top of my camera that allows me to see myself in the TV. It's not working for some reason. I don't know. I think I need another cord for that. Um, but yeah, all this kind of stuff, man. I'm with it, man. I'm with it. I'm with supporting and promoting young athletes, especially in the HBCU world. Um, Anybody that's trying to do something positive, I'm with it because I've been there. Um, I've been through the trenches of being an athlete, man, playing collegiate basketball. Christmas break is boring. Like you're there by yourself, just you and your teammates. So I understand what a lot of these young men and young women are going through. So I try to do all these things to show support and let them know that there are people out there cheering for them. And with Jackson State, yes, there are a lot of people cheering for them, but there are a lot of folks rooting to see them fail, man. And if Jackson State loses a game this year, watch. What one, they're going to be on ESPN. All right, ESPN2 at some point if they lose. And two, you're going to see so many channels, the negative channels out there, who are going to come out the woodworks and basically saying they're overrated. I told you so. All this other just crap, negative energy. And again, sometimes you can't win every game. I understand, especially in football. You come out and any given Saturday you can lose. T. Dot says, "Good show. I found your show leaving the OBC in Miami. Keep up the good work, bro. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, man." Franklin Franklin says, "God is good." Yes, he is, man. You know what, man? Let me show y'all something, man, real quick. I might still have it on here. Might still have it on here. I don't know. Might not. Right? This is one of the hoodies that I make, right? That I sell on my online store. I said God over everything. And I had a blue shirt. I had an all white shirt on yesterday with blue lettering. Um, I had that on yesterday for Labor Day. So man, yeah. But I do all types of stuff. I have an online store for anybody who wants to support the channel. Their hoodie season is coming up, man. Hoodie season coming up. Red, we got black, we got green, any type of color. Um, if anybody wants to show support, uh, find me on any social media platform and DM me, whether it be Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And if you want to, get you a hoodie or a T-shirt like that, I will send you the store link and I will send you a promo code for either 15% off or $10 off, shipping or something of that nature. So that's how I show appreciation, man. That's how I show appreciation. So the phone number is 936-337-1388. Say it again, 936-337-1388. Franklin says, I like that. Yeah, man, Franklin, if you reach out to me, man, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, it's either Between the Game, at Between the Game, or at Between the Game Sports. Reach out to me, man. I can send you a promo code to get you, I know times is hard. So I'm always, if you want to show support to me, I'm going to show support back, man. So appreciate it. So we got somebody trying to call in if it works. Like I said, I haven't had it set up in a while. So if you want to try to call in, please do so. I'm with it. I am definitely with it. All right. Man, but again, man, I appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. This has been great. This has been great. Let's see. We're trying to wait on this phone call. If not, we're gonna get ready to shut it down. And also, this is a fan-friendly show. If you have an idea, if you have a topic you like us to talk about, please DM me, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and put it out there so we can go out there and talk about it, man. Because if there's a certain topic that needs to be talked about, I love covering it, man. And I love speaking from a you know intellectual point of view, man. I'm not the smartest man in the world, but I ain't dumb either. I ain't dumb either, man. Demetria Wilson says they need to move the Classic to Atlanta, make more neutral so more JSU fans can come out. If it didn't move, it will fail, especially with FAMU not playing up to the standard. Oh, you're talking about the Orange Blossom Classic. Makes it's where would they play in Atlanta if that's the case? Because Atlanta, it's not called the Georgia Dome anymore. I don't believe a Mercedes-Benz Dome or something like that. That game that weekend is usually played with one of the FBS schools, rocking and rolling out there. Like this weekend, I believe it was Georgia and Oregon. It might have been Georgia and Oregon. So that it's hard to kind of do that, right? Even though Atlanta is a bigger city, that game was played on Saturday night, and the Orange Blossom Classic was played on Sunday. So it might be feasible. But the city, the mayor, the owner, all these folks have to agree with that. So, Mr. Wilson, you might be onto something, but in my mindset, that would probably be something hard to get done, man. So, I appreciate you dropping through. Move the Classic to Dallas or JSU. Hey, Jackson State coming to Dallas. You better believe I'm in the building. And I want y'all to be on the lookout for it, man. I'm more than likely going to be at the Texas Southern game that's out here in Dallas because I live not too far from it now. I want to go to a Jackson State home game, but my weekends are full, right? So as soon as football season is over with, I jump right into basketball because I cover high school basketball as well in the state of Texas. Again, I know a lot of college basketball coaches. I'm about to start covering basketball games, so y'all be on the lookout for that. So most of that content will be on TikTok. I will post some of it on here, but I'm going to start covering basketball games at the collegiate level, so which I'm really excited about, man. So if you like that news, drop a 100 in the comments. But I want to go to a Jackson State home game, but again, it's not going to happen this year. But I will be at the Jackson State Texas Southern game. It's in Houston. I'm from Houston, so I'm definitely going to be at that game. Oh, I can't wait, man. I believe it's November 4th, November 5th, or something like that. It's going to be dope. Ronald Hunt Mercedes-Benz Stadium is now standing in Atlanta. The Georgia Dome was brought down. Okay, yeah, there we go. Franklin says, or Houston, yeah. So, Benz Stadium and the SWAC can't play in Atlanta because of 60-day blackout because of the MEAC versus SWAC kickoff game. So there we go. So we have people dropping knowledge on why certain things are happening. I appreciate that, Stephen Campbell, man. We almost an hour and a half. I wasn't planning to go this long. Y'all been active. Y'all been responsive to what I'm saying. And I hope I don't be yelling in y'all ears, man. Try to stay as far away from the microphone as possible. I'm working on my radio voice. We're going to continue to drop this type of stuff, man. And me and my guy Hoop Jorgen, we usually do a show on Thursdays, man. But he lives in California, so sometimes the schedules just don't add up, man. So y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to my guy, DJ Raw and Cut. Go subscribe to him. He has a very good channel, and there's countless others, man. Countless others. But I wasn't expecting to go this long. Like I said, you guys have been great. I only do this if it's rocking and rolling. Continue to look out for what we have coming up next. I'm probably going to drop a poll question on my page coming up of what game we should cover this weekend, probably tomorrow afternoon. So y'all look out for that, man. So we're going to get ready to shut it down. We couldn't get the call in to work. it is what it is. Again, if y'all have a topic or a show y'all want us to cover, find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Drop it with us, and we'll get to it, man. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Genia, what you laughing at before we get out of here? What you laughing at before we get out of here? Again, if you would like a piece of clothing with Between the Game Sports on it or the God over everything type thing, find us on and DM us. I will send you the store link, which used to be up here. They took it away on YouTube for some reason. But I will send you the store link personally, and I will send you a promo code to either get you 15% off or $10 off shipping or something of that nature, man. So we're gonna get ready to get out of here. And if you've seen my lives before, or if you're new to this, I always try to leave you with some words of encouragement. And I basically say, man, basically say, excuse me, if I can find my closing. There we go. I basically say, on your best day, be better. Think about it. Between the Game Sports, I'm out. Peace.